Discomfort is a requirement of happiness. Isn't that an interesting concept? And it was one I was contemplating the other day. That so much of our life, so much of our choices, so much of what we are doing, choosing, how we just live our lives comes from this concept of choosing comfort. That in most areas of our lives, we will choose the easiest route. And that can be conscious, that can be subconscious. We can even see it in muscle patterning and things like that. We often end up with pains because our body has chosen the most comfortable or easiest way to complete a movement, to function and continue to function at the level you have asked of it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the best option, and that's how we lead to RSI injuries. This is how we lead to compensatory injuries. We are built as a species to seek comfort and ease in whatever way possible. And that has occurred. We have now reached a point in our lives, in societal setup, where we do. We have the absolute most comfort possible and unprecedented levels of it. And yet that's causing a great decline in our society. Like, we have, for the first time ever, nutritionally deficient people who are obese. That doesn't happen. They are nutritionally deficient, unhealthy, and obese. So it's not because they're lacking food, it's that they're lacking the right types of food, because we seek comfort. Food is engineered these days to make us eat more of it. It is made by scientists to make us eat more, to consume more, to crave that satisfaction and that dopamine chasing. And this is part of the issue that we have, that we are constantly seeking comfort. But the problem is, with life, with all this kind of stuff, you need discomfort to understand happiness. You need highs, you need the lows to have the highs. And if you're constantly in this comfortable state, you will A, create problems, or B, get depressed because nothing feels good anymore. And I think this is the issue that we face with a lot of it, because we won't get uncomfortable. We won't push ourselves to be uncomfortable, to challenge ourselves, to push into failure. We can't experience the highs that come with the completion because we won't risk the lows of, putting ourselves out there. And this can be in many different formats, and you'll have appreciation for things. But it's one of those ones, an example I think is a great example, is if you went camping. Let's call it a week, and you do hard camping, and there's no electronics, there's nothing, you're just cooking by fire, and you're hiking out and you're camping and all that kind of stuff. And you come back after a week of that first meal, that first shower, that first night in your own bed, my God, will you have a new level of appreciation for all of those things, because you didn't have them before. You will appreciate on an unprecedented level how incredible those things are. And they're the simple things that we take for granted every single day. And it's not until we get uncomfortable, it's not until we get out of our comfort zone that we can learn to appreciate those things. And it can even be in microdoses of it. My wife goes up to visit her parents once a week, and she takes the kids. And I am so much more immensely grateful and appreciative of the time I have with my kids on the next morning when I get to see them, because they'd been away, and it's only away for a night. I love seeing my kids every single day. There is nothing better for me in this world than hanging out with my family. That is me at the height of my happiness, is just spending time with my family. It doesn't even matter doing what, but that is the height of happiness for me. But again, you get more grateful from that time apart, that creating discomfort. And you can do it, as I said, in microcosms of it. You know, in a workout, you push yourself, your arms are on fire, you keep going and going, and you hold that ISO hold, and the second you release it, that release from the pain, my God, that's, you know, as Arnie would say, it's orgasmically good. You know, you create that pump and it's like an orgasm. But it's that truth of you've gone through that discomfort and you come out the other side. And it's why I think if we are going to lead our best lives, if we're truly going to find happiness and fulfillment and satisfaction in this life, one of the things that is required is that we get uncomfortable. And we've spoken about it before. You can either choose to get uncomfortable yourself, or life will get uncomfortable for you. So the choice is always yours. It's why in 126 to greatness, in chasing greatness, or if you progress and upgrade to the greatness club, we actively, on the daily, choose to get uncomfortable. We choose our discomfort because it makes the rest of our lives easier. It makes the rest of our lives happier and more fulfilled. And one of the things that is included in that is a daily wins list. And you need to, as I said, you need to get uncomfortable, but we also need to track the wins in our life and things that we should be happy for and grateful for. And part of that is writing that down. And so part of that is you do, at the end of every day, you write down 10 wins, 10 things that you are grateful for. And they can be small, they can be the sunset, they can be, you know, having a great coffee with an amazing friend. It can be anything. You know, consistently mine include both my kids individually and my wife. And then I have the other wins, like how much money did I make today? How much, you know, impact did I make? Did a client achieve a new personal best? Did I overcome the bitch voice? But you turn on that reticulated activation system by being aware and documenting your wins across the day. And then on the flip side, at the end of after your 10 wins, you also document 3 areas that need improvement. Because you also got to get a little bit uncomfortable. You've got to chase that happiness, but you've also got to be uncomfortable and continue pushing forward. Because, as I said, there is no discomfort, it doesn't matter how incredible your life is, you will just acclimatize to it. And it'll get boring. It'll make you depressed. It'll make you sad. You know, how many stories are there of millionaires, 100 millionaires, billionaires, and how fucking depressed they are? They have everything they could possibly want under the sun, but they're depressed because, you know, part of it is that you get accustomed to all that kind of stuff. You just need more. But you don't actually need more. You need to learn how to embrace and enjoy what you have and be grateful for that, and then more will come from that. But you also need meaning in your life, and part of that is getting uncomfortable and pushing yourself outside of that comfort zone into things that are difficult. There is deep satisfaction in doing difficult things and coming out victorious. It is a satisfaction that cannot be truly put into words. It's ones that have to be felt and earned. That you went out, you took on something that was potentially beyond your capacity, and you came out victorious. That is what we are fighting for. That is what we are. It's part of, and I truly believe this, it's part of leading a fulfilled life, is the ability to pick difficult things, to go all in, to risk failure, and then come out the other side victorious. But if nothing else, you can go to bed at night, lay your head to rest, knowing that you left it all out there. There is satisfaction in just doing hard work, just going out there and working hard for the sake of working hard. There is deep satisfaction in that. And I think that's what we especially as men need in our lives. We need this opportunity to go out and earn it, to work hard in pursuit of something that matters to us. So I saw a great quote the other day, and it was, you can be anything you want in this life. but you can't be everything you want. So I think part of this is that we have to pick the things that matter most to us. And in my books, that would be health, wealth, and family. They're the big three. And they kind of fulfill into each other. And as Alex Hormozy says, he's like, the majority of a man's problems can be solved by being in better shape and earning more money. Everything else then becomes less of an issue. And I think on top of that, if you add in have a great family, and you have great family life, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Earn money, be in great shape, family. That'll basically, if you can do that right, if you can put in the effort towards that, leads to a pretty spectacular life. And yeah, most of your problems will go away with the pursuit of those things. So I think there is something to be said for that. There is something to be said for going out there and giving it your all, working hard in pursuit of those areas. And as I said, how can you appreciate the highs if you haven't had the lows? If you haven't gone to war, if you haven't gone into the trenches and pushed yourself and sacrificed for it and given everything you have for it? The highs aren't going to mean as much if there isn't that effort, if there isn't that work, if there isn't, you've left it all out there. They just don't matter as much. You know, if you're just ticking along through life, all those things, do they carry any meaning anymore? Not particularly. Because if you haven't earned it, it feels less. You haven't put in the effort. You haven't come out the other side of discomfort for it. It carries a lot less value, I find. And that effort and that work can be applied to any area. Yeah, it could be applied to business. It could be applied to building a business, growing a business, being a better employee within that business. It could apply to any of those things, but it also can just apply to the gym. You know, hard fucking yakka in the gym, just getting in there and thrashing yourself and seeing how much you can physically take, pushing yourself on those limits. And I think, and I've mentioned it before, I truly believe that exercise is the halo habit that everything else stems from. You get into great fucking shape. You learn how to build incredible discipline. You learn mental toughness and fortitude by pushing through in those areas. They then transfer into the other areas of life. You become better at business. You become better at relationships. You become better at handling stress. You become better at just handling life, because on a consistent basis, you have gone and actively chosen the hardest thing that's going to happen in your day. So why wouldn't every other area of your life get better? Why wouldn't every other area of your life get easier and smoother? If you've already done the hardest shit that you're going to face today, the rest becomes pretty nonchalant, becomes pretty easy to flow from. And that's what we're working on. That's what we're trying to achieve. And it's why it's every single day, because there are no days off. There are no days off from life. You just keep going. And we put ourselves into that discomfort, and we put ourselves into that pain locker, and we push through. And eventually, you'll find that your mindset shifts and you start seeking that out. You start seeking out that discomfort, because you know on the other side is happiness. You know on the other side is that sense of fulfillment and gratitude and satisfaction from fucking doing work. It's part of why one of the tasks in 126 is a daily weighted walk. And for me, that's either 10, 20, or 30 kilos. I'd like to see if I could push it up to more. I haven't worked out how to attach that much weight to me. I'm looking into a rucking backpack, but that's beside the point. But when you get into that level, you get to the end of that walk and you take that weight off your shoulders. Oh, do you feel a sense of accomplishment? Do you feel like you have done work that day? And you are grateful, and there's happiness and satisfaction in that effort, in that completion of it. And that's what it's about. It's about pushing yourself through the discomfort. Because as I said, satisfaction and happiness is on the other side of it. You have to go through the lows to reach the highs. So that's all I have for you today. I know that was a bit of a ramble, a bit of a longer wind one, but I hope it spoke to you, and I hope it delivered some value for you. And so, as always, if you found value from this, if you took something of note from this, please like, comment, subscribe, join the movement. I am on a mission to change as many lives as humanly possible, to make an impact on as many people as I can, and that includes you. So please join me on this greatness movement as I share and document as I go through phase 2 of 126 to Greatness. Next, if you know someone else who would benefit from this, please send them to it. Send them this and help them join the movement. Help me change more lives. Help me reach more people. Next, if you're ready to elevate yourself, please click the link in my bio, join the daily greatness mail. There'll be a new 10 steps to greatness in there very shortly, so you can grab that as well. Lastly, if you are ready to burn the motherfucking boats, to go all in on yourself, to see who you can truly be when you cut away the shit, when you burn away and sacrifice everything that doesn't serve you, please message me directly. Let's throw you in the deep end and see who you can be on the other side. Until then.